Welcome to Sapporo!
Today we're embarking on a journey across Hokkaido's capital city. Known for its breathtaking landscapes, vibrant city life, and unique culinary delights, Sapporo offers a blend of urban sophistication and natural beauty. In this video, we'll share a mix of Sapporo's top attractions as well as hidden gems in the city outskirts. We'll stroll through the Primeval Forest at Maruyama Park.
A slice of paradise.
Come face to face with Moai and a replica of Stonehenge at Makomanai Takino Cemetery.
There are some surprises to come aside from Moai.
Explore art and nature at Sapporo Art Park Open Air Museum.
Apparently there are 74 sculptures here in this park.
Get lost in the maze of stores at Tanu-ki-koji Shopping Arcade.
Okay, Sam, which would you choose, cat or dog?
Plus, we'll enjoy some of the city's local culinary delights.
Look, these are the famous ramens of this area.
Whether you're a history enthusiast, a foodie, or just down for an adventure, Sapporo has something to offer just for you. So we invite you to subscribe and join us as we share 15 things to do in Sapporo, Japan during your visit.
Alrighty, good morning, friends. So we just came out of Odori Station and we are in front of the Sapporo TV Tower. So I think that's going to be our first stop of the day. It's not the highest vantage point in the whole city, but I do like the idea of going up a tower that dates back to the 1950s.
It looks retro,
yes.
It looks iconic, and we'll get some really good views of the city.
Yeah.
I've been noticing in some other pictures that people have taken of Sapporo, there's great mountain views. The city is surrounded by mountains, so I'm hoping we get to see that vantage point from up there.
Sapporo TV Tower is an iconic landmark and symbol of the city. The tower was completed in 1957 and definitely has some vintage vibes. You may also notice that it looks slightly inspired by the Eiffel Tower with its lattice design.
We made it to the top. My hands are so clammy and I'm so sweaty right now. That is an open elevator, you can see all around and you just realize you're very high up and exposed.
You're aware of the height as you're going up the tower, but first impressions are, what views from up here. Very spread out city.
So I'll talk about the tickets a little bit. We got a special ticket, so we got the one that lets us go up to the Sapporo TV Tower where we are right now, but we also paid to go up the Sapporo Clock Tower, so we'll be sure to hit that attraction next.
Sapporo TV Tower stands 147 meters tall, and from the deck, you can enjoy panoramic views of the city, including nearby Odori Park. It's a really cool spot, and our favorite views were looking west towards the mountains.
Okay, so we just walked a couple of blocks over to the Sapporo Clock Tower, which is another historical building here in the city.
Sapporo Clock Tower was built in 1878, making it one of the oldest buildings in the city. The tower features Western-style architecture, which was relatively uncommon in Japan at the time. It reflects the American influence in Hokkaido, and it's also seen as a symbol of the city's development. The building was originally used by Sapporo Agricultural College, now Hokkaido University, and it played a significant role in agricultural education and Western-style practices that were introduced to Hokkaido during that era. As for the famous clock, it was manufactured by Howard and Davis Clockmakers of Boston.
And over 128 years later, it still keeps time. And it's a popular place. There's a lot of people visiting here today.
After seeing Odori Park from above, it was time to do some exploring on the ground. Now, I can't begin to tell you how hot and humid it was on our first day in Sapporo. Maybe it's because we had just flown in from Canada, but it was a bit of a shock to the system, and ice cream was very much needed to try and cool down.
I am struggling with the heat. It is September, 30 degrees. I don't know how much with the humidity. So we are stopping for an ice cream break just so I don't pass out.
We're at your park, Odori Park.
Odori Park.
Yes.
Eating ice cream.
Odori eating ice cream at Odori Park. How is it?
Refreshing. It's bringing me back to life.
It's like a realistic travel tip, you know, you get hot, you get tired, you need to rest your legs, you need to get refreshed. Have a little bite.
Cool down a little bit, yeah. Nice little spot in the park. We've been walking around all morning, so nice to rest our legs and just eat something cold. We're like chugging water, Pocari Sweat. Now ice cream, it's gotta cool down.
At some point. At some point it must. It must.
After some soft serve ice cream, it was time to enjoy Odori Park. This park stretches out 1.5 kilometers and hosts several festivals throughout the year, the most famous being the Sapporo Snow Festival. However, we managed to stumble upon Sapporo Autumn Fest just by chance. We didn't plan it this way, but we had zero complaints about getting to sample loads of delicious street food.
We just so happened to be in town while there's a huge food festival taking place here in the park. And I mean, there's just so many different food stands to choose from. You can eat and drink your way around the world here. So that's what we've decided to do for today's lunch.
And so we're starting off with all kinds of tempura. If you take a look down here, this is the cheese one.
Yes, mozzarella.
Mozzarella, you can see the cheese oozing out. This is the one I'm most excited about, the pumpkin one. It just enhances the pumpkin so much. I love the crispiness. And let's see if that stretches out, friends. Look at that.
Wow. Sam just arrived with Indian food.
I'm showing you guys the international flavors they have at this autumn festival. And guys, they made this naan from scratch right in front of my eyes. Authentic, delicious Indian food. Rich curry. I mean, there's nothing like a butter chicken, is there?
Tanukikoji is a covered shopping arcade that stretches for about 1 kilometer through downtown Sapporo. This is one of the oldest shopping areas in Sapporo, with a history dating back to the city's early development in the 1870s. Over the years, it has evolved from a simple market area to a modern shopping district. We wanted to escape the heat, so this was the perfect excuse to check out some of the stores.
Oh, air conditioning.
Exactly, the best part is the air conditioning. And there's also some really interesting toys you can win by playing a game. Never rigged in your favor though. They always seem to fall out of the talons, no?
Samuel, what can we find in here?
Everything.
Everything.
Literally everything you've ever imagined or not imagined is in this store.
So basically this area, it's a covered shopping street. It's a commercial area. It's a pedestrian street. And it's several blocks in length, lined with shops on either side. You can take escalators going up, going down. This area is massive. And basically we're here because we got so hot. We needed air conditioning. We needed to escape the sun, escape the heat. So here we are. And as Sam was saying, you can find anything you can possibly imagine here. Okay, Sam, which would you choose? Cat or dog? Which cat?
Cat.
You choose that cat? I maybe choose this dog. Makeup, food, snacks.
We go to the 4th floor. I want to see the cameras.
They have cameras?
Yes, on the 4th floor.
Okay, let's go.
Go.
Halloween. Woo. Alrighty, so we've made it to the Sapporo Beer Museum.
Yeah, we sure have. We hopped on a metro, walked a few blocks, and it seems well worth it. Check that out. It looks so interesting from the outside. I have no idea what it's going to be like inside. I'm hoping we can try a beer.
Sapporo Breweries was founded in 1876 as the Hokkaido Kaitakushi Beer Brewery. It was the first brewery managed by Japan's national government, and just 1 year after opening, they launched Sapporo Lager Beer. The museum is housed in a red brick building that was originally a sugar factory before being repurposed into a brewery. We first toured the place, checked out the evolution of the Sapporo beer labels, and then we made our way over to the tasting room.
And that. Yes. Alright.
The tasting set.
The beer
We get the
tasting.
tea.
Okay, so we decided to do a beer tasting here at the Sapporo Beer Museum.
On a hot and humid day, being inside here, which is air conditioned, and drinking beer, it doesn't get better.
So you have 3 beers to choose
So I'm
from.
gonna start with the black label.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm thirsty. Let me tell you, that's a good beer. Okay, next we have the classic. Yeah, that's way lighter.
Yeah.
I think you might like that one.
Last but not least, this is beer number 3. What's it called?
I think it's called Kaitakushi beer. Kaitakushi beer is made from the original recipe of the Kaitakushi brewery.
Ooh.
That's fascinating.
Let's see how you like that one.
Out of the 3, I'm going with the black label.
Black label, so they're best-selling.
Their best-selling
beer.
Their best-selling one is the best.
Okay.
In my opinion.
That makes sense.
In my opinion.
Alrighty guys, so right now we are on our way to the crab market here in Sapporo. And much like we did in Hakodate when we went to their fish market, the idea is to have a meal there, a fresh seafood meal.
Yeah, we're hungry. We're going to be having a late breakfast this morning. And we're hoping to get, fresh seafood.
Yes.
This is interesting too because this is the first time we've explored kind of the outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
Previous to this, we have been keying in on mostly the central part of Sapporo, and now we're out in the outskirts, and it's a completely different environment.
Yes.
So I'm really excited and hoping to get some yummy, tasty seafood bites this morning.
We're following our noses. We can already smell the fishiness in the air.
We sure can.
So we know we're headed in the right direction.
We are.
One thing to keep in mind when visiting is that the central wholesale market isn't open to the general public. However, anyone can shop the area known as the outer market or the curb market. Plus, this is where you'll find loads of restaurants serving crab and other seafood dishes. We chose one at random and ended up having a great meal.
Found a restaurant. Now we are perusing the menu.
It's got a fantastic menu. There's all kinds of assorted seafood. You can get it fresh, you can get it raw, you can get it boiled, you can get it grilled, you can get it with soup and rice. Anything you want here.
Oh, thank you. I have crab soup. As you know, crab is very, very famous here on the island of Hokkaido. So we got like a miso soup with some floating crab meat. That's one affordable way to sample crab. Okay, now you got the crab bowl.
I sure did, and it's not just any kind of crab bowl. It's got 4 kinds of crab in here. We have king crab, we have snow crab, we have hair crab, and we have blue king crab. And friends, I am not a crab expert, so I don't know which is which.
It looks like a very stringy meat.
That's got a stronger flavor. I'm gonna go with this one here. That's my favorite crab.
The third one you tried.
Third one I tried.
Okay, so this one here, he says is good.
That's the winner. They're all good.
Alrighty, time to load some money on our transportation cards.
Yeah, it sure is. This has been a great way to get around, and it's time to load up.
Yeah.
So it's our first time to do it. I think we put it in like this.
There we go. Let's
Yes.
press English.
English, please.
So we know
All
what we're
fare
doing.
informations will
So,
be
the
displayed
IC card?
in English.
Charge.
Charge. So let's put 1,000.
Yeah.
Which is a
Just
little
under
less than
$10.
Take it.
Alrighty, what can you tell us about transportation here in Sapporo?
Well, I can tell you that it's very efficient with our Kitaca card.
Yeah.
So we purchased this card in the metro station when we arrived by train. So easy to buy it. You can load it up with cash, and it basically allows you to tap in and out of the metro station. You can also use it at convenience stores to buy things. And what's really interesting is that every city or every region in Japan has a card with its own name. The last time we came here, we had a Suica card, and this time we have a Kitaca card, and they work all around the country. Like when we take this back to around the Tokyo area, it should work at the metro station there too.
Okay, so this afternoon we are visiting Maruyama Park, and there are 2 places within the park that we're particularly looking forward to visiting.
Yep.
The first one is the Hokkaido Jingu Shrine.
Right.
So we're going to be heading there first. And then I read that there's a primeval forest within the park. So
How exciting. This will be our first green escape in the city here. And yeah, we've been enjoying the urban landscapes, and now
Yes.
it's time for a little bit of nature.
some green, and
Some
after
green.
the rain it looks even greener.
Looks amazing, and there's hardly anyone here right
Yes.
now, so it's awesome. Nice, quiet, and peaceful.
Maruyama Park is located in the western end of Sapporo, and it's a sprawling green space with nice walking paths. With 1,700 cherry trees, it's a popular spot to view cherry blossoms in the springtime, and it also draws visitors in autumn for the changing foliage, though we were a bit too early for that. The first place we visited in the park was the Hokkaido Jingu Shrine. This is a Shinto shrine that dates back to 1869 and is dedicated to Emperor Meiji and 3 other deities. The grounds were beautiful, and what impressed us most were the massive cedar trees.
So we are now on the trail heading up to the Primeval Forest, and there are some bear warning signs. How do you feel about that?
I know. Well, we're in northern Japan. I mean, we're from Canada, so we're used to bears. Not like used to seeing them every day, but we're used to their presence, you know, kind of being on guard. And it would be fascinating to see one from a distance, but I doubt it. Yeah. I highly doubt it.
I doubt it as well.
I doubt it.
So I can't read Japanese, but there was a sign with a picture of a bear and a date on it. And if I'm interpreting this correctly, the last time they had a bear sighting around here was back in April. We're currently visiting in September. So I feel like we don't have a whole lot to worry about. Plus, we're at the base of the mountain right now. I feel like the bears probably enjoy being up there where it's far more secluded and less noisy. So I think we're gonna enjoy a nice little walk through the forest here. It's beautiful.
It's amazing. I had no idea there was this variety of trees out here, and for them to be so big and impressive, and to be able to find somewhere in a big city like this where you can escape the population and have a slice of paradise to yourself. It's been wonderful. And we haven't even entered the main part yet.
So we are currently doing a little bit of sightseeing here at Nakajima Park. We're actually staying in this area. Our hotel overlooks the park, so we thought it was high time we wander on over and see what it's all about, don't you think?
Yes, the first time we've been here where there's been some sun, so it's a completely different experience for us. So far, we're really enjoying it.
Nakajima Park is an urban park with a large pond, walking trails, and quite a few attractions of its own. So first up, we visited Hohei Kan. Hohei Kan was originally constructed in 1880. It was one of the first Western-style buildings in Sapporo and served as a guest house for important visitors and dignitaries during the Meiji era. The most notable event being when Emperor Meiji visited Hokkaido in 1881. The building combines Western-style architecture with traditional Japanese elements, and while it's an interesting construction, we found the interior a bit bare, so our visit was brief. That being said, we did enjoy the Japanese gardens out back.
Oh, I'm getting good shots. Oh, yes!
Well, we just got off the bus. We can already see some Moai statues, so I wanted to get your reaction.
I didn't know we were going back to Easter Island today. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't really tell Sam where we're going or what we're visiting today, so this is a bit of a surprise for you.
It's cool, and to get here was quite a surprise too. We took the metro all the way to the end of the line.
Makomanai?
Yeah, exactly. And then we took a sort of a rural bus for quite a ways.
Number 106.
So we are on the extreme outskirts of Sapporo, to the point where I don't even see any houses around here, and it's just like forests and mountains. So
lead us in.
Let's go.
Yes, this is a cemetery we're visiting, by the way, guys. Look at that. Yeah, so this place is called the Makomanai Takino Cemetery. So a bit of an unusual attraction, but sometimes cemeteries are really cool places to visit. Especially in this case, I found this place listed on, a list of obscure places to visit in Sapporo. This is obviously in the outskirts, but I think it's well worth the journey, and there are some surprises to come aside from Moai.
So the first thing you see as you enter the cemetery is a row of straight-faced Moai standing tall. In Easter Island or Rapa Nui, Moai statues were built to honor leaders and other important people who had passed away. And here in the cemetery, the Moai are used as a way of deifying ancestors.
Welcome to Rapa Nui, Easter Island in Japan.
Whoa!
Next, we visited the Hill of the Buddha. This hill is covered in lavender plants, and when you're first approaching, you can only see the head of the Buddha, which protrudes from the top. You then enter this very bare, meditative space that leads you past a pool of water and through a tunnel that brings you face to face with the seated Buddha.
Alright, so next up we've made it to Stonehenge, which you can sort of see over my shoulder. Now, the only thing is we're not allowed to get up close to it, like we're not allowed to walk on the grass just back there. So we'll let Sam's Zoom do the work, show us what that is like. But yeah, it's very cool, the variety of, I guess, art installations or places of meditation here in the cemetery with the Buddha and Stonehenge and the Moai. It's been a really cool place to visit.
I got a really good shot, wow.
So we have made it to our next stop. We are currently visiting Sapporo Art Park, and there's a lot to do here. We're not going to be able to hit it a lot because they've got galleries, ceramic studios, ateliers. We're going to key in on the sculpture forest. So we just followed the steps all the way up. They kind of zigzag to the top of the park. And then you've got some cool sculptures in the middle of the park to enjoy.
Sapporo Art Park is known for its focus on contemporary art and its integration into the natural landscape. While there's plenty to see and do in the park, we decided to focus on the Sapporo Art Forest Open Air Museum.
So in terms of admission, it's 700 yen, and apparently there are 74 sculptures here in this park. We're gonna see how many we can find.
Guys, this is such a beautiful walk through the sculpture park. Like, you've got just little paths that go along streams, stepping stones, and just sculptures all along the way to keep you interested, entertained, and then just nature itself. We are in a beautiful, lush green forest with moss, and you can hear the sound of the water and ferns, and it's nice and cool here. Like, today's a cooler day in general, but I can imagine coming to this park in the middle of summer to escape the heat and just having this cool green oasis. It's very nice.
Yes.
Of course, no trip to Sapporo would have been complete without visiting Ramen Alley, an area lined with dozens of small ramen shops serving so many different variations of the dish. We opted for a Sapporo classic, miso ramen with corn and butter.
Look, these are the famous ramens of this area.
Oh, butter.
The butter, corn, ramen,
Oh, just corn.
pure corn. Miso ramen with butter and corn.
So now let's try those noodles.
Tasty?
So good. That broth is really good. It's kind of nutty. I don't know what I was expecting, but that is delicious. I'm in love with the broth. I feel like it has a nuttiness. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it has sesame or what's going on, but it's delicious. A little bit spicy.
Everything amazing?
So
All
good.
things?
I am in love with this bowl of ramen.
I'm just as enthusiastic to try this.
And the pork looks so good.
That's what I'll try. The pork is so tender and fatty. Amazing. I knew right, that broth is good. That is rich and delicious broth.
Yes.
It's got a tang to it, huh? Some kick.
It's good.
Some kick.
So
Wow.
we are just gonna feast. We're gonna have no trouble devouring
trouble
these
eating
giant
this.
bowls.
Wow, that was awesome, huh?
Oh yes.
I would highly recommend this. Outstanding place to try it here in the city, right in this back alley.
Yeah, don't know the name, but it's the one with the bright yellow sign and the big pictures. Well guys, we have reached the end of our time here in Sapporo, and what a great first visit it has been.
Yeah, I can't believe how fast our time went. There was so much to see and do here. It actually really surprised us. I'm coming away thinking that Sapporo is the most livable big Japanese city I've ever been to. It has so many green spaces. It has an excellent transportation system. It's also quite pedestrian friendly too.
Yeah.
So I found it very easy to get around. It maybe lacks some of the epic attractions that some other cities have in Japan, but I still found it really interesting to be here. What did you think?
Yeah, I would say one of my key takeaways is just how green the city is. I love that the avenues are lined with trees and that you have parks everywhere. And it does feel like you have more space up north here in comparison to, say, Tokyo.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. We've had a wonderful time. Again, some really cool, some obscure attractions, I would say, especially with the cemetery that we visited. But
Yeah.
we had a really fun time and we ate really well.
Exactly, we ate so well. There was that food festival, we had seafood, we had ramen, we hit it all up, and yeah, couldn't have had a better time. Also, the nice thing too is that it appears that the calendar finally flipped. We had the last stretch of summer and now we're getting some cooler fall weather. So that's always nice. And yeah, we really enjoyed our time here. If you guys enjoyed this travel guide to Sapporo, please give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll have more adventures from Japan coming for you soon.
Ta-ta!
Ta-ta.